wherever you may be. Welcome to episode 81. Shout out to Kobe of the One Perspective to Another podcast. This podcast is dedicated to the man himself, Kobe. We all know the tragedy that happened. It's been a weekend. First and foremost, I want to give a little perspective on just everything. This episode is for Kobe, but it's also for people in that plane crash, the people who die every day, the people who pass, just in general. I did a podcast a couple weeks ago about celebrity and just my battle of back and forth with it. But a lot of people lost parents, a lot of people lost husbands, a lot of people lost brothers and sisters, parents lost children, this and that. It's never anything that anybody wants to go through. It's never a good feeling. We forget that the winter time and the winter brings death and things are lesser. It's not a good time of the year. I always hear people talk about depression in the sky and the clouds and the rain, but depression sometimes hits in the seasons too, because like I said, it's the winter time, and a lot of people I know personally have passed. People's families have passed. Like, the winter is very cruel, but I just want to say that first and foremost, and not give all the shine to Kobe, but I want to give the shine to Kobe for the perspective of just living in our lives and growing up, because I hear a lot of people talking about grieving differently and not being able to grieve, and you a grown ass man, you shouldn't be feeling this way. Just the negatives and the positive, the pros and cons to losing a legend. And I want to give him his light and his love and his legacy, the MAMBA mentality. I was driving back home today, actually, and I seen it was a little bit more people playing basketball on the court today than normal, just a little bit. But it's been a week of dedication and everything. Not many celebrities last multiple days. It's a week now. We still don't know of any services. But shout out to the Lakers for doing their service for him, or just moment of remembrance at the Lakers versus Blazers game. Shout out to Dame Dollar for coming in there and handling business. But just talking about Kobe, we all know the stats. We all know the things he did. We all know the things that he did for the game of basketball. The players, the coaches, the families, they've all spoken. We have tributes and just craziness outside of Staples Center. But I want to talk about the perspective that means the most to most of us. And like I said, I've done podcasts about death in particular, my own mother's death, my friend's death, and just giving people light who have lost parents, who've lost children, who've lost just anybody, any person that you've lost. It hurts and it hits differently. But first and foremost, just specifically about Kobe, like he was a father, he was a husband, he was a child that was lost, and he was a star. And the thing that I think that gave me the most perspective about how and why this is going on for so long, because one, sports is very, very particular, because it brings people who have nothing in common with one another together. And whether you liked Kobe or you didn't like Kobe, whether you loved him, hated him, booed him, cheered him, there was a mutual respect for him. And especially in my age range, and I'm pretty sure most of the NBA's age range right now, for regular people, this was people's daddy. Like, just keeping it a buck. Like, Kobe Bryant was some men daddy growing up. Like, they watched him for 82 games. They watched him for more than that, 100 games, getting championships. He showed them on a basketball court. We all played the game. We all said Jordan. We all said Kobe doing shots. You wasn't in the gym shooting with me. Like, we was there. We grew up with Kobe. Every Tuesday night, every Friday night, every Sunday, wearing a white jersey. We grew up with him, and it's really weird for some people not to understand it. But like I said, that's just sports. The competitive nature, whether you was playing on a video game or you was out the actual concrete or you was actually on the hardwood, whether you still hooping today, like competition in sport is you can't describe it any other way. It literally brings people who are from different cultures, from different breeds, who look different, who talk different. It brings them all together. Those intangibles. That's why I feel like a lot of women wouldn't understand it in that sense, but some do. If you was a female and you hooped, you understand it, you get it, you cried, you shed tears, you get the magic, and it ain't nothing a man or a woman difference. It's just a competition thing. Whether if you was a cheerleader, whatever, volleyball, like if you just competed, you knew about Kobe and that Mamba mentality. And I heard a lot about different celebrities. Like Prince didn't do this to me. I don't feel like Michael Jackson did this. The only person that I can really think of that made the world stop for this long was probably Princess Diana. But Kobe, like, it still seems surreal. It still seems unbelievable. 41 years old. He done greatness in 41 years that most people couldn't even get in 400 years. That's just the Mamba mentality. And he said last night, or he didn't say, but just in his tribute last night, it's not about being the Kobe in basketball. It's about the Mamba mentality in whatever it is that you do, whatever box that you are in, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, whatever sports, whether it's academics, whether it's math, science, or reading, writing, being a teacher, being a professor, being a firefighter. Be that Mamba mentality in that box that you are in, but don't get caught up in the box. You know what I mean? You enjoyed him. You enjoyed the artist that he became. You enjoyed the man that he aspired and became. Competition at his finest. You can't put into words. Looking up on the screen, posters on your wall, fat heads on your wall, the shoes, the paraphernalia. Is that how you say it? I don't even know, but his shoes got taken off because they ran out. Even different sports teams around the world. Kobe touched the world. That's why sports and music, they go hand in hand, but you don't have to speak a language to play a game. But you don't have to listen to the words to understand the beat either, but to actually go outside on a court and look at somebody that you can't even understand what they're saying and do the same thing that they do, that speaks volumes. And I think that's why his death spread so widely and worldwide, and it was a hurtful moment for everybody. Even soccer players, the person I could equate it to if Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, something like that happened, because I feel like Messi is the Kobe of the rest of the world. Us here in the United States, being American, we kind of understand our American stars, but Messi is like the world star, and I feel like that would have been the same impact. Excuse me. Yeah, it's just a trip. It's just a trip. It's still a little weird. It's just my perspective. I wanted to give it some time. I wanted to give it a week or so just to see how people react and how people grieve and how people are affected. Seen grown men cry. I've seen grown men just let it out. And first of all, I want them to know that is perfectly fine. That is perfectly acceptable. Like, this is somebody that you grew up with. This could be your brother. Like I said, this is some people's dads. Growing up, like getting that rock. It was a single parent home. They got that rock and they went and did something that they didn't even have any idea that they was doing, but they did it because they saw him on the screen and how great he was on a basketball court and how close he was to achieving the greatness of probably playing basketball forever. He did it for 20 years. He did a Dear Basketball thing and saying that he probably would have did it forever, but his body gave up. We are mortal. And it made me just think about shit now, like, what are you doing? What are you doing for your Mamba mentality? How are you aiding your growth? How are you helping your peers? How are you helping the people around you? I don't have the privilege of being a father, but I can only imagine losing a daughter and having your daughter with you, losing your daughter. That's it's not something that you would think about, but it's shit that needs to be talked about and thought about because it's hard, it's difficult. I know a lot of people cry and say it's sad, but I don't want to think of it as sad because it's a celebration of life. He did everything with every single fucking morsel of love and time and energy with his time here. And that's why he's getting celebrated this way, because he did it the Kobe way, the Mamba mentality way. It's legendary, it's great, it's powerful. And I can do nothing but give my salute, give my praise, just like I did for Nipsey, like I'm doing this podcast about Kobe, and just giving my piece, my perspective, and the things that I've learned, the things that I see, and just letting people know that it's okay to grieve the way you want to grieve. It's okay that it's a celebrity. Whether you 3 years old or you 30 years old or you 60 or you 70, however you see fit, you can see a lot of people getting tattoos and just talking about memories, especially the people who were players with him, and how just one moment of a talk, a communication changed their lives. And watching games nowadays, like you see the players come off the court and they have the little kids on the side getting shoes, just getting high fives. Like, that's the next generation of children that are getting that Kobe in them, getting that they see AD, they see Russell Westbrook, they see Curry. Like, they're changing the game. And those kind of celebrities, sports is always going to have a little special place in my heart. So it's a little different. It's not the movie stars, because most of these basketball players, they was just like us, and they are just like us. The only difference is they get paid to do something that is in entertainment that we enjoy, and they do it, and they have to specialize in it, and they have to be professional, and they have to be great at it, and we see that executed every time. It's not a movie. It's different. It's physical activity. It's a mental drain. It's a mental everything. Just 82 games a year plus playoffs. Like I said, just watching this man become immortal. I know Tracy McGrady said it, but it's true. He is. He's immortalized. I want to make him the new NBA logo. I don't think it'll happen, but if anybody could get it, it's him. But logistics and money won't allow it. So, but I don't know. Maybe in time we'll see. But waving off, I'd love to see it. Kobe as the NBA logo, because I think a lot of people don't even know that Jerry West, he's not even really accepted as the logo. It's just his image, but they don't say it, because if you do, you got to pay that man. You got to pay that man. But just the perspective that's negative that I've seen also too is the people who get on Kobe about his rape allegations and him being acquitted and stuff. Like, those kind of people, like, I get it, but if you didn't do it, like, you gotta let it go, because seeing somebody celebrate it, and I'm not gonna tippy-toe around it, because if that woman is known and she told a lie, like, it's that whole Me Too movement and stuff, like, it's a slippery slope. And if you didn't do it, you didn't do it. But if you did it, then fuck your soul. Like, if you didn't do it, you gotta let it go. And like I said, I apologize if it triggers you from that first trigger and that reaction, but sooner or later you got to compartmentalize, because we all have our emotions and we all have to keep them in check. It's nobody else's responsibility except our own. It's like, it's okay to grieve how you accept things, but when your grieving starts hurting people around you, that's when you gotta look yourself in the mirror and see what's really going on. But yeah, it's not sad anymore. It's a beautiful life. It's a showing of great accomplishments. Getting is it an Oscar and an Emmy? Being a writer. Writing and producing, that's fucking legendary right there. The life after basketball, 2 years out of basketball and already did all of that. That's fucking phenomenal. But yeah, like I said, it's not sad anymore. It's beautiful, celebrating the life. We all had a little Mamba mentality in us. The snake, the Kobe system. I remember when I broke my foot, I had the Kobe system foot brace on. It's just weird. We ain't never had this before, and it's still a little tender, but like everybody say, it's gonna take a while, but you just gotta keep pushing. I've been on this path before. It's not somebody that I've known personally, but it's somebody I've seen play basketball in person, and somebody I've seen take away souls, and it's an enjoyment, and you just keep those memories because it makes you realize that our time is precious. And I hate that it always takes a death for us to realize that our time is precious, but live every day like that. I done did podcasts on it before about living in the moment. You're 7 billion odds in being here. Like, use that shit. Don't be lazy. Don't be acting like everything all right when it's not. Just do your best. We can't keep living in these false realities. It's important. And last but not least, the shout out to LeBron for doing his speech and saying fuck them notes. I wouldn't be doing Kobe justice if I read off of them notes. I appreciated that. Made me tear up a little bit because I wasn't expecting that, and I didn't expect to see that from LeBron, because most of the time he real selective in his words and his choices, but I respected the fuck out of that because you can't always write off a piece of paper. Sometimes it just got to come from your heart, because we all know it's people crying, it's people grieving, it's people who just don't understand. Shout out to Town Business. But like in my own personal journey with losing my mom, it ain't about understanding. It's just about learning to deal with what is. Whatever happened for its reason, and you're left to deal with the aftermath of it. But it's not aftermath if you choose to build with it. You choose to grow with it. You choose to evolve and spend your time, your passions, your love more wisely, with more just awareness, situational awareness, emotional intelligence. You don't waste your words. You become more concise. You become more powerful. You become more focused. It's not just a rage anymore. It's controlled serenity. And I feel like that's what the Mamba mentality is. That's what my Mamba mentality is the one perspective to another, knowing when, situational awareness, knowing when, how, where, and why, and what to do in certain situations. So you don't have to think. It just becomes second nature. And that's when life becomes beautiful. And I love it for that reason. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out and salute and just give my 2 cents on the legendary Kobe Bryant. Shout out to all the victims once again. And not just those people in general, but just to everybody. Like, people die every single day, but they're not celebrities and they're not known. But to the people in their communities and their peers that they've affected, like, we salute you. We give you love. We give you peace. Because pretty soon people going to forget about it, whether it's 6 months or a year. Like, it's still families without fathers and mothers and parents or grieving children lost. Like, that shit don't go away for them families. So pray for them. Really pray for them. And on that note, as always, It's just my perspective. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell 2 friends or tell 2 friends. And up next, a Kobe song, Kobe verse, but I always fuck with this song. Shout out to Brian McKnight, because you know I love my R&B, but this is Brian McKnight, Hold Me, with a verse from Kobe as a sleeper. So we'll catch you on the flip side, and I'm out.
Red hot, baby. Honey, listen up, listen. The lies and pain, it's enough. End it, exit, leave homes alone. Rock the tone. The New York Giant man's a client. I'm the president. Money long like jail sentences. Poetic. Him, forget it. Amnesia, I need ya. I need a woman like you. I know you wanna go. Your girlfriend say that you wanna leave. Here's my chauffeur. Give him his keys to his V's, and honey, you can ride me.
Remember way back when I first met you, didn't wanna sweat you, wanted you to put me on 155 at the Ruckus. All the mother suckers tried the game, I knew you were the one. Oh yeah. And I know you think about me. You think about me. But I don't know what you're waiting to see.
Sword slicing gently through my body, burn so sweet. Blood boils when you speak, makes me weak, but I refuse to weep. Yet when I sleep, I feel tears trickling down my cheek. Stay strong, pride telling me move on. My heart's fighting me, forcing me to hold on. Yours forever, fell for you beyond measure, pure as ever, unfazed by sins of treasure.
Tonight.